Welcome to the 2024 General Election Meet the Candidate Forum. My name is Lindsay Allen, and I am joined by Naomi Bouts. We will be your moderators for the 2024 Meet the Candidate series. This year's forum is sponsored by the Hagedon Media Group, Quicksilver Studios, and the Joint Public Policy Committee of the Coeur d'Alene Regional, Hayden, Post Falls, and Rathdrum Chambers of Commerce, in partnership with the Coeur d'Alene and Post Falls Press. This forum is intended to allow you, the voter, to hear from the candidates representing various Idaho State legislative and Kootenai County positions, who will share their vision and policies to help inform your vote. Candidates will be given 1 minute to introduce themselves, then asked 3 questions with 2 minutes to respond to each question. Candidates will be allowed 1 minute for their closing statements. These forums provide a unique opportunity to connect with the candidate who seek to serve our community. By meeting our candidates one-on-one in a more casual environment, we aim to better inform Kootenai County voters about each candidate's point of view. Okay, we are here with State Senator candidate for District 4, Carissa Hober. Carissa, I'm going to give you 1 minute for an introduction. Take it away.
Okay. Hello, my name is Carissa Hober, and as she said, I am running for Senate in District 4, and I'm excited to be doing this, actually. People often ask you why, and I have a lot of things that I'm passionate about. My number one reason is I'm doing this for my kids. There are a lot of things that have been happening in Idaho and specific bills that have been passed or things that have not been handled that I feel like really do need to be addressed. And, my top thing would be education, women's rights, making sure we're taking care of our elderly, making sure we're taking care of our forests. There are a lot of things that we could do better, to steal something from Kaylee Peterson, but I believe in better, and I believe that we can get there and that we can work together. So one of my big thing is a tie-dye wave. So blending red and blue together, because we all really believe in the same things. I think we get a little hung up on a lot of the details of that. And so I feel very strongly that we can work together and make these things happen.
Excellent. Okay, question 1. What are the top legislative priorities for District 4, and how do you plan to address them? You have 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, I feel like we have, a few issues that really need to be addressed. Number 1, I would say, is education. I have 4 children that are in the public education system, and I feel like we really need to improve funding at a state level so that the schools aren't left hanging with regard to how much money they're going to have every couple of years to make sure the levies pass, and can we have this many educators? Can we have all these different programs for the kids? So I really think that needs to be addressed at the state level and not leave that up to the citizens in our direct area. I think we can do better there. Another thing that we really need to address would be housing issue up here. I mean, housing since I've lived here just in the last 12 years has tripled. How are we going to help everyone to be able to stay and afford this beautiful area? That's a key issue, I believe, as well. And we need to address that again at the legislature and make sure that we have systems in place to help everyone be able to stay here. And my kids included. I worry about them being able to afford their own home someday. And women's rights. Women's rights is huge. And I don't want to stomp on anyone's beliefs at all in this situation. I feel like women's rights and reproductive health are issues that really strike a chord or a nerve in a lot of people, but I feel like there is a way to respect everyone's beliefs and still take care of everyone's health. I think that that's very important, and we're losing healthcare providers right and left in our state because of some of the issues that we haven't addressed with regard to women's reproductive rights. So I feel like those are some of my top issues. There are others, but those would be the primary things that I would be fighting for at the state level, for sure.
Thank you very much. Okay, question 2. Legislators often receive input from advocacy groups and organizations, as well as your constituents. How will you balance these perspectives when supporting or opposing legislation, and what steps will you take to ensure transparency to your constituents?
Okay, so I believe that it's very, very important to listen. Listening is the number one part, I feel like, of a job of a senator or a representative when you're going to the state level to represent everyone in our area. I'm not just representing my own beliefs. I don't believe in that. I believe in getting all of the information from people in our town. So if people email me, trying to get me to address concerns, I will be sure to respond to their concerns and listen to what they are looking for. I'm also very passionate about nonprofit organizations as well. And there are a lot in our area that do a lot of good for the community. For instance, Safe Passage is one of those that is amazing. And my daughter just did a project to collect items for them. And, I feel like if we could help get funding for those organizations that help a lot of our community members, that would be wonderful. I don't have an agenda for myself or, anybody in particular. What I would like to do is be a human being in the Senate, and really think about what are we doing to help the people of Idaho? What am I doing to help children? What am I doing to help the elderly? What am I doing to help the single parents? And they can be male or female, to be able to make it and take care of their kids and put food on the table and have a place to live. What am I doing to help everyone to have a better life in Idaho? It's not about me. It's not about my personal beliefs. It's about our kids and Idaho's future. And I really feel very strongly about that. So if people come to me with concerns, I'm here for them. I'm hoping that I can address those concerns and do my best at the state level to make a difference.
Thank you. Third question. If Proposition 1 passes, will you support it or will you vote to repeal it?
I will support Proposition 1, and here's why. I feel like not having open primaries really limits the views and perspectives that we're taking in from society at large, right? So if, for example, I was actually registered as an independent for a long time. I don't like being put in a box and, having to check, yes, I'm on this side, yes, I'm on that side. I like to be able to think for myself, take in the issue, and decide, okay, where are we going with this? And Proposition 1, I think, with open primaries, really allows everyone to have a say in who is running in November. If you have two people, but only Republicans can vote on them, or two people and only registered Democrats can vote for someone there, you're really limiting the pool of people that have a say in who they get to vote for in November. So I feel pretty strongly that open primaries help to actually increase the democratic process and help everyone's voice to be heard. And I really feel that that's important to society at large, that everyone's voice gets to be heard.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move into closing statements, and you have 1 minute to address the audience.
Oh, wow. Okay, that did go by fast, didn't it? All right. Well, again, my name is Carissa Hober, and I'm running for Senate in District 4. And I do feel very passionately about being here for the people of Idaho. I'm not in this for myself. I'm not in this for personal gain. I'm in this for my children. I'm in this for your children. I'm in this for everyone who lives in our wonderful state. And I would like an opportunity to try and make things better at the state level. And I really do have a vision of that tie-dye wave spreading across the state where blue is mixing with red. We're able to hold each other's hands and move forward together. Because, I have lots of friends on both sides of the aisle, and I truly believe that when you get down to the heart of things, we have the same values, we have the same principles, and we can work together to make everything better for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
we now have our state senator, District 4 candidate, Ben Toews. Ben, you have a minute for an introduction to the audience.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so my name is Ben Toews. I'm the current state senator for District 4. It's been an honor to serve for really the city of Coeur d'Alene is essentially my district. I feel like I've been able to get a lot done, and I'm just thankful to be able to represent the constituents in my district. In the last two sessions, I've sponsored legislation, including legislation to help with parental rights in the education system. I sponsored a bill for open enrollment, which I think has really helped a lot of the families be able to choose between the different public schools in the public school system, the one that best fits their child. So I'm, like I said, happy to be serving currently and would love to serve for you again in the coming sessions.
Thank you. Question 1. As incumbent, what do you see as the top legislative priorities for District 4, and how do you plan to address them? You have 2 minutes.
Okay. So one of my positions currently is the vice chair of the Senate Education Committee, and so I focus a lot on the education type issues. So to me, I really think that it's important that our children have as many options as they can for their education, and that parents should have the ability to choose what is best for their child. And I've already seen the improvement in our system, just having choice between the different schools in the public school system. But I'm a big supporter of school choice, or freedom for parents to choose where their children go to school beyond that, and have the dollars actually follow the children. So I believe that having an education system that has more competition in it will actually lead to a better outcome, likely will lower costs to the taxpayers and increase the quality. So to me, that's like one of the top issues of our day. I went through the local education system. I had a great experience. I don't know if I would have actually changed anything if I had school choice at that time, but I do believe that it's something that's important for parents to be able to, because every child is so different and they all have different education needs.
Thank you. Question 2. Legislators often receive input from advocacy groups and organizations, as well as your constituents. How will you balance these perspectives when supporting or opposing legislation, and what steps will you take to ensure transparency to your constituents?
Certainly. This is a very important issue. I believe that I'd say lobbying groups, although they can give you important perspective because they often will educate you a certain side of an issue, I've found that it's really important to just operate based on the principles that you run on. So if I run on certain principles, if I'm focused on individual rights, then I'm going to be advocating for those rights. Whether or not any lobby group, it's more like, do they agree with me? If they happen to agree with the principles that I ran on, then that's great. I'll end up working more closely with them. If they don't match the principles, then I'll end up working with them less. But I don't see them as actually persuading me one way or the other. And I think that it's important that we keep a healthy distance from lobbying groups trying to force legislators to do a specific thing or vote a specific way. So what my constituents can expect from me is that I will, what I say I will do. If you go on my website or you look at some of my flyers, you'll see the principles that I run on, and those will be the principles that I follow, and I expect to be held accountable to those principles.
Thank you. Last question here, and you have 2 minutes to respond. If Proposition 1 passes, will you support it or will you vote to repeal it?
Yeah, certainly. So Proposition 1, it's been billed as open primaries, and I think the common question that people have been asked is, don't you believe everyone should have the ability to vote in the primaries? I don't see it as that cut and dry. There's a ranked choice voting component that I really disagree with, I think would be really bad for our state. So it's possible that that we could actually support or allow some of it and not all of it. And I'd probably be looking at that kind of an option if it were to pass. But I'm afraid that people have been misled in the fact that they bill it as open primaries and they tend to not talk about the ranked choice voting portion of it. So that's a concern for me. I do believe that the will of the people has already spoken, because we actually voted legislation outlawing ranked choice voting in Idaho. So this, to me, is a group trying to circumvent the representative republic that we're a part of. So I do see that as a problem. I don't think that a direct democracy is what we're meant to be. And so that's why I would be more likely to intervene in some way.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have 1 minute for a conclusion to your audience.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I would just say that it's been amazing to serve in the Senate. I think I've made a lot of good ground in different areas, and I commit to continue to do that. Some of the things that are most important to me is protecting our children. I worked to pass a law that actually requires age verification for children to be able to get to prevent children from getting onto adult websites. I think that was huge, because that's a huge issue in our society, and I'll continue to do whatever I can to support protecting children and to make sure that we strengthen our families. I'd love to see a grocery tax repeal. I think that's we're one of only, I think, 5 states now that have a grocery tax still, and I'd love to see that go away, especially with inflation the way it is. So once again, I appreciate your support and would appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
On behalf of the Joint Public Policy Committees representing the Coeur d'Alene Regional, Hayden, and Post Falls and Rafton Chambers of Commerce, in partnership with the Hagenon Media Group and Coeur d'Alene Post Falls Press, Lindsay and I thank all candidates for participating. I would also like to thank the production team members at the Quicksilver Studios, the Hagenon Media Group, and the Coeur d'Alene Press. And of course, thank you to those who have taken the time to learn more about each of the candidates featured in this year's Meet the Candidate series. This series has made it possible to hear from 23 Kootenai County local race candidates. We sincerely thank candidates who took the time to discuss what is important to voters in Kootenai County. We hope this town hall forum has helped inform those still uncertain about whom they will cast a final ballot for in the coming weeks. Please remember to vote. It's one of the most significant rights and responsibilities as Americans. The fundamental message this year is cast informed votes. Thank you.